Welcome students. The topic for today is determiners, and determiners determine something about the noun, and at the same time these following classes they make the determiners. These classes include articles, demonstratives, possessive, distributives, interrogatives and quantifiers. Now in this video I'm going to tell you where are determiners used, how are they used, and at the same time how are they different from the pronouns that are there, especially in case of demonstratives and possessives. So let us begin with the first type, which is very simple for all of us, and that is the articles. Now articles, there are three articles, a, and the. Now the is called the definite article and a and an are called the indefinite articles. Now when we call the as the definite article, we understand that when we are referring to any common noun and we use the before it, that means we are referring to that particular common noun itself. Like if I say the man in the room. Now I'm talking about which man who's there in the room. So I'm talking about a particular man. That's why I use what? The article the before it. The same way in case of the room, word room also I'm using an article the before it. Because I'm talking about a particular man and I'm talking about a particular room. Now if I point, I can use this also. But if we are asked to fill in only articles, we should know where to use a, an and the. So the is the definite article. A and an are indefinite articles. Indefinite, I'm not sure about which man I'm talking about. Then in that case, I use a or an. Then we have to look at the sound. Sound, we look at the word before which we have to put any article. And as we see that word, if it begins with a vowel sound, we'll use an. And if it begins with a consonantal sound, we'll use a. This is what we do every time. So as soon as you are given a blank and you know that you have to fill in an article, first of all, we have to see whether an article will come or not. Like if you're talking in general sense, like if I say a sentence, man is mortal. Now I'm referring to all the men. Then in that case, all the human beings in fact. So I'll say man is mortal. This refers to everybody. We're not talking about particular and we are not talking about indefinite also. Then in that case, I'll not use any article before man. Like I'll not say the man is mortal. Then in that case, I'm referring to a particular man. If I say man is mortal, it refers to every man. Like if I say cow is a holy animal, so it refers to all the cows. So it is used in general sense. And when we use a common noun in general sense, I'm not talking about proper noun. Proper noun also we don't use any article unless we are comparing. If we compare a proper noun to somebody else, then only we'll use the article. That I'll discuss just now after this. So when we talk about general sense, we don't use any article before it, and plus when we refer to proper nouns if we are not comparing. Then in that case we say that Mr. Narendra Modi is the Prime Minister of India. We not say the before him. So we don't use any article before words where we are referring to general sense or we are referring to a proper noun. Now where to use the article the when we are talking about a definite common noun? Then in that case we'll put article the. This I have discussed before that. Now where else can we use the article the? Of course, first time when we are talking about a particular common noun. Second, when the common noun is repeated. Like I'm telling a story. Once there was a king. The king lived in a palace. Then in that case, I'm referring to the same king. That's why I'm using the article the. So whenever we are repeating that common noun, in that case, we use the article the before it. Then, of course, in case of superlative degrees also, we use the article the. There are three degrees of comparison: good, better, best. Then we say he's the best. So whenever we refer to the superlative degree, like if I say Burj Khalifa is the tallest building in the world. So the tallest, when I use this word, tallest superlative degree, before that we have to use the article the. Then in that case, we also use the article the in front of the names of mountain ranges, rivers, canals, oceans, deserts, holy books, newspapers, then government departments, museums, libraries. Everywhere we use the article the. We say the Himalayas, the Andes, the Alps. Then in case of the rivers also we say the Ganges, the Yamuna. Like that we use the article the. In front of names of canals we say the Indira Gandhi Canal. This is how we use it. Then in front of oceans also the Atlantic Ocean, the Arabian Sea, that way we say. In front of names of deserts we say the Thar, like that. Then in front of names of holy books, the Bible, the Gita, the Quran, like that we in front of holy books. Then in front of newspapers, you must have seen the Times of India, the Hindu, there everywhere we use. In case of the government departments also, we say this is the income tax department, this is any sort of department, we'll use the word the. Then in front of names of museums, in front of names of libraries, everywhere we use the article the. But where is the not used? The is first of all not used before proper nouns unless we are comparing them. Comparing them in what sense? Like I say, Udaipur is the Venice of the East. Now, when I use this, Udaipur is the Venice of the East in front of Udaipur as it's a proper noun, I'll not use any article. But I have used the article the before Venice. What is the reason? I'm comparing Udaipur to Venice. So that's why it says Udaipur is the Venice of the East. It is compared to Venice there in that case. Okay. So we don't use the before proper nouns. We don't use the before names of continents, before names of cities, holidays, days of week, months, then subjects of study. I'll not say the English, the economics like that. And names of diseases also. Like I don't say the measles like that. Simply measles. Then in front of names of meals also, we never use any article. Answer the dinner, the lunch, the breakfast. We'll just say lunch, breakfast, dinner. Then next thing, the is used before proper nouns when only we compare. This I've already explained. Then at the same time, the is also used for nouns which are common to all. Like we say the earth, the sun revolves around the earth. So like that we say the sun rises in the east. Okay, in front of names of directions also we use the article the. At the same time, the is also used before names of countries if they begin with words like United, Republic, like we say the USA, or it's a group of islands, like we say the Netherlands, the West Indies. Like that we always use the article the if it's a group of places, and at the same time if they have words like United, Republic, etc. So the is used at all these places which I have mentioned above. Now we come to where to use a and an. Obviously, first of all, after looking at the word, I'll see. If I'm talking in general sense, I'll not use any article. If I'm talking about a particular common noun, I'll use the. If I'm talking about any common noun, I'll use a or an. Now I will see the sound, the first sound of the word. If the first sound is a vowel sound, I'll use an. If it's a consonantal sound, I'll use a. Now, in this case, some people have a confusion here that they have been taught that any word which begins with a vowel sound, like a vowel, that is A, E, I, O, U, it should have an before it. It's not so every time. Because if we take the example of a word like university, it begins with U, which is a vowel, but it doesn't have a vowel sound. The sound that comes is year, and year is a consonantal sound. The same case if I say 1 rupee coin, I'll never use the word and 1 rupee coin. I'll say a 1 rupee coin because the sound that comes is v. And in case of this, it's a consonantal sound. So I'll use what? A 1 rupee coin, a university. If I'm talking about a particular, I'll say the universities. First of all, I have to see the word. That is the most important thing in case of an article. Now, the second category of determiners are possessives. From the word itself, it's very clear they show possession. But at the same time, there are possessive pronouns, but there are only few possessive pronouns which will act as determiners also. Like there are some words which show possession, but they don't determine something about the noun. So they are possessives, but they are not possessive determiners. They are merely pronouns. So now below it you can see I have written one example here, and that example is this book is mine, this is my book. So this book is mine. Here in this case, mine is also showing possession, but it's a possessive pronoun. And this is my book. It's a pronoun, but it is a determiner. So we say it's a possessive determiner. So this is better for us to understand. So this is my book. It is determining something about the noun. So you can see there is a complete table here. This table shows the possessives. But the first part of that table, it shows the possessive determiners, and the second part of the table shows the possessive pronouns. Like if I take all the subjects of the world, like I take a noun and all the pronouns together, like personal pronouns I say. So Rahul, then in that case, possessive determiner would be Rahul's. Then I, what is the possessive determiner? My. But what is the possessive pronoun? Me and mine. So are me and mine determiners? No. Because they are not determining anything about the noun. The same case is with he. With he, the possessive determiner is his. We say his book, his house. And the possessive pronoun is, it can be him, it can be his also. Both the cases. Like we say, this book is his. Then in that case, his is merely a pronoun. Then she. What is the positive determiner? It's her. And what is the possessive pronoun? Hers. Then it, the possessive determiner is its. You, the possessive determiner is yours. Sorry, your, and the possessive pronoun is yours, but without any apostrophe. So we usually use this possessive pronoun in case of our formal letters where we say yours truly. Then after that, we, the possessive determiner is our and the possessive pronoun is ours. Then they, the possessive determiner is their, T-H-E-I-R, and the possessive pronoun is theirs. So those students who get confused between T-H-E-R-E and T-H-E-I-R, understand one thing. If it is T-H-E-I-R, it's a possessive determiner, so it would be followed with a noun. Their house, their book, their place, their dignity. So in that case, it is T-H-E-I-R, it is showing possession. And T-H-E-R-E is merely a pointing word, there. So it will be followed with a verb. So some students, those who make mistake and they are not able to write, they should understand that T-H-E-R-E would always be followed with a verb. It can be is, am, are, it can be then was, were, has, have, any other word. But T-H-E-I-R will always be followed with a noun. Now let's come to our third category. The third category is distributives. Distributives, each, every, all. Then either, neither, both. I don't think so we have any problem in understanding where to use both. Both, we are referring to all, both of them. There are two people, we are referring to both of them, both students. Then neither, we say none of them. Like we say neither of the student has done the work, that means nobody has done. If I say either student has done the work, I refer to one out of two, but I don't know who. So I say, if somebody asks me who has done the work, I don't know out of these two who has done. I say either student has done the work. That means out of these two, one has done. All, there also we have no problem. We say we refer to all, like all students, everybody. The problem is between each and every. Where to use each and where to use every. Each is used when we refer to a small group and every is used when we refer to a bigger group. Like I say, there are only 2 or 3 students. Each one of you has to do this work. That means I'm referring to all one at a time, but it's a small group, I'll use each. But I'm using the same thing in a class. I'll say what? Every. So now this is how it goes. The next one, which is very important, and at the same time we have to understand these are very confusing. So I have taken them in pairs. And when they are taken there in pairs, we are taking the more confusing ones together. So let us see the first one, the difference between few and little. Where to use few, where to use little. It's very clear. Few, which can be counted, and little, which cannot be counted. Like any noun which can be counted, there we'll use few, and any noun which cannot be counted, we'll use what? Little. So before countable nouns, few, before uncountable nouns, little. Like I say, few students, few numbers, like that. Little, when I say little milk, little sugar, then little salt, like that. Now the problem comes between few confusing things. Like I use the word money. Students generally say, ma'am, money is countable, we can count money. We can count money, but we can never count the word money. We are talking about countable nouns. Money cannot be counted. I cannot say money, monies. It doesn't have a plural or a singular. Same in both the cases. Then in that case, I'll say little money. But if I say rupees or I use the word coins, then in that case, I'll say few coins, few notes. But whenever I am using the word money, I'll say what? Little money. The same case applies to the word furniture. Furniture cannot be counted. Number of benches can be counted. So furniture, we'll say little furniture. We'll not say few furniture. The same case is with luggage. We'll say little luggage. We'll never say few luggage. So few is used before countable and little is used before uncountable nouns. The same difference is between much and many. Much is used before uncountable nouns and many is used before countable nouns. Like I'll say much money. Same way. And many, I'll use it when many students were there. Then many numbers were there. Like that we'll use. So whichever noun is countable, we'll use many. Whichever is uncountable, we'll use much. Now the problem comes when we have to understand the difference where to use little, a little, the little and all. And at the same time, students are usually confused with some also. You can see I have made a picture over here in case of little, a little, the little. You see a glass which is half full of water, like not completely half, less than half. I'll say there's some water in the glass. If it is less than that, I'll say there was little water in the glass. Still less, I'll say what? There's a little water in the glass. And if a little water also spills, I'll say the little water that was there also spilled. So the hierarchy goes like what? We say some, then we say little, then we say a little, and that a little also spills or it is taken or it is drunk by somebody. We say a little that was there, the little that was there also was drunk by that man. So this is how it goes. The same difference is there between some, few, a few and the few. That means some is used with both countable as well as uncountable nouns. So if I say that we visit a person's place and they kept in a plate some biscuits. So we say, they kept some biscuits there in the plate. If they keep less than that, I'll report what? No, few biscuits. Then if they are still less than that, I'll say, they kept a few biscuits in front of me. And if by chance their child comes and eats that a few also, I'll say what? The few biscuits that were there also their child ate. So this is how I'm going to say it. Some, few, a few and the few. Now the next difference is between much and many. I told you much is used with uncountable, many is used with countable. But I am talking here about their comparatives. The comparative of much is more and most. Comparative of many, more and most. So when it comes to comparison, they lose the sense of being countable and uncountable. So I'll say there was more water, there were more students. Okay, so that way we go. So when we compare much and many, they lose the sense of that countable and uncountable nouns. Now let us see the next difference, and students usually get confused here, and that is the difference between some and any. Some is also always used with positive sentences and any is always used with negative or interrogative sentences. Like somebody inquires from me, was there any student in the class? So was there any student in the class? Then was there some students in the class? No, wrong. Was there any student in the class? If there are some students, I'll say what? Yes, there were some students in the class. And if there weren't, then I'll say what? There wasn't any student in the class. So if the sentence is in negative or interrogative, I'll use what? Any. So all those students who get confused a little bit also over here, the concept is clear. The sentence is in positive, some. The sentence is in negative or interrogative, any. And any always is followed by a singular noun. It cannot have a plural noun. I cannot say, yes, there were any students in the class. There weren't any students in the class. No, there wasn't any student in the class. That way I'm going to give the answer. Then the next is the difference, comparative here, and the comparative of what? Little. The comparative is less and least. Some students have the habit of saying lesser. No, it's wrong. There's no word like lesser. We say, well, less marks. When we say more marks, we say less marks, less milk. So when we compare little, it is less and least, not lesser. It's less and least. And here I'll refine your knowledge also. Least is a superlative degree. Then in that case, before least, what will we add? The article the. So the least. Then few also has got its comparative, and the comparative is fewer, fewest. So when we compare, we write this. So what we have to keep in our mind while writing comparatives and superlatives is that after comparatives, than will come. T-H-A-N. That is than. And before fewest, the will come. So fewer than, the fewest. This is what you have to remember when we compare. Now the last category of determiners is interrogatives, Like we have words like what, which, whose, how much. These words I need not tell you, because from these many years of practice, we have understood all these interrogatives like which house, okay, whose house, how much money. So we already know how we have to use all these interrogatives. So I think so after this video, all the determiners are very clear to us. Determiners in case of articles, possessives, then demonstratives, then in case of distributives and all. These all we have understood very well. Now, one thing that is there is demonstratives here, and that is I have written here as point number 2. There are 4 demonstratives: this, that, these, those. Now, when I talk about demonstratives, now a wall is close to me. Like if I have a wall at the back, I'll say what? This wall. And if I'm referring to the one just opposite, I'll say what? That wall. So, what are this, that, these, those? These are pointing words. But at the same time, this is used when something is close to me and singular. That is used when something is singular but far away. The same thing we say when we say these students, those students. So these refers to plurals and something close to us, and those refers to plurals and something away from us. So these are the demonstratives. As I said, these are the demonstratives. Something plural close to us. And otherwise we say those students. So this wall, that wall. These students, those students. So this is how we understand all the determiners. So I have made clear the articles, demonstratives, possessives, distributives and quantifiers. So these are all about the category of determiners. Thank you.